Alright, you lot. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you magnificent bunch of pixelated warriors. Welcome back to the place where we dissect madness that is modern gaming without grace or bull in China shop. Today we're diving into chaos that is XDefiant. I've got some juicy questions from Twitterverse, some absolute bangers, and a smooth brain moment to tear apart from Reddit. So if you're ready for some honest no bullshit takes, you're in the right place. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. Helps channel grow and lets me keep ranting for your entertainment. Right, let's dive into madness, shall we? Alright, so our mate Van, good lad, sharp as a tack, asked on Twitter, "Hey Scotty, do you think P90 is a good gun to use?" Well Van, let me get it to you straight. In my personal opinion, yeah, P90 is a beast. It's an absolute spray and pray dream. And if you're like me, someone who likes to get up close and personal, it's one of the best weapons in any shooter. I've got a loadout built around that little monster, and it's one of my go-tos when I feel like sprinting around like a madman. But would I recommend it to you or anyone else? Nope, not a chance. See, I'm all about finding your own playstyle. What works for me might be absolute shite for you. You might pick up a P90, spray an entire magazine and it not but air. Meanwhile, I'm cleaning house. It's about personal preference, Fan, and your playstyle is what dictates whether a gun feels like an extension of your will or just bloody inconvenience. Perfect example? M4A1 in XDefiant. People calling it the worst gun in game, like it's cursed or something. But for me, it's an absolute banger. I've been melting people with that thing, but if someone else tried it, they'd probably end up crying into the controller. And it's kicker. With this new mastery challenge they've cooked up, you'll eventually have to use every weapon, even ones that feel like throwing pebbles at a tank. So enjoy P90 while you can, but don't get too attached. You got a lot of grinding to do to get that shiny new camo. And spoiler alert, I'll be diving into that old mess in tomorrow's video, so keep an eye out for that. Right, Bam's back again, this time asking, "Hey Scotty, do you think XDefiant Season 2 will be better and bring back players?" Ah, mate, you've hit jackpot with that question. Let me break it down. Will it bring back players? Absolutely. It'll bring them back like shiny new toy brings kids running. But keeping them? Now that's real test, innit? And that's where cracks start showing. Look, you got a ton of people out there crying about netcode hit rates like it's be-all end-all issue. Sure, it's important, but let's be real, most of these so-called issues boil down to one simple fact. People need more to keep them engaged. They need the bloody participation trophies. Just playing for fun? Nah, not enough for some of these fragile egos. They want rewards showering them like it's a bloody carnival game. But let's not forget Steam purists. Those who've dug their heels in and won't install Ubisoft Connect cause it's not on Steam. Boo-hoo. I actually talked about Ubisoft's Steam return yesterday, especially with Assassin's Creed being poster child for that move. But here's the thing, they need to stop with half measures and just drop all the games back on Steam now. None of this drip feeding nonsense. Do that and you'll see an uptick in players, guaranteed. But again, will they stick around once shine wears off? That's a bigger ask. We're smack dab in middle at TikTok generation, mate. Attention span's shorter than a loading screen. People get bored faster than they can hit play. XDefiant needs to pump out consistent content if they want to keep these dopamine junkies hooked. And if Season 2 can't deliver that, well, you might as well start countdown for when player base buggers off. So yeah, Fan, Season 2 will bring back players, no doubt. But if they want to keep them, it's going to take more than a shiny new skins and bug fixes. Stay tuned though, Season 2's got potential, but clock is ticking. Alright, next up, we've got a double whammy from Dutch Spradlin, legendary name by the way, and our southern friend DroneNet. Dutch asks, "Hey Scotty, what's your thoughts on Battle Pass and patch notes for Season 2? Hashtag save XDefiant." And DroneNet's chiming in with, "What do you think of Season 2? Ah, boys, we're diving deep here. First off, let's talk about Battle Pass. It's like Ubisoft took a long hard look at how much they could stretch out rewards before people realised they were just grinding for the sake of it. I'm not saying it's awful, let's be honest. It's usual treadmill of skins, charms, whatever bits of flair they can throw at us keep us playing. You'll get your XP boost, shiny new cosmetics, and maybe a weapon skin that makes you think, well, at least I'm not grinding for no. But here's kicker. Are you playing cause you enjoy the game, or cause you're hooked on unlocking crap? For me, it's a little of both. Cause I'm a sucker for a good camo, I won't lie. But I'm here for fun, not just to collect virtual bobbleheads. Now, patch notes, unsung heroes at gaming updates. It's like reading a grocery list of promises. Fix this, tweak that, added this feature, and sometimes they actually do what they claim. But other times, feels like they're just slapping on band-aids and hoping damn don't burst. In Season 2, they've definitely made some improvements. Netcode fixes, tweaks at hit reg, adjustments to weapons that needed a bit of love. But let's not pretend every issue has magically vanished. Every update is a step forward, sure, but there's always going to be something in to be continued pile, isn't there? As for my thoughts on Season 2 overall, it's too early to give full verdict, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Content looks decent, and they're addressing big community gripes, which is good. But like I said before, bringing people back is one thing, keeping them is real test. They need to keep feeding content beast if they want to keep folks around. And hey, if you're sitting there thinking, but Scotty, isn't that what every developer does with the game? Yeah mate, you're absolutely right, this isn't new. But if you want to keep up with big boys in this overcrowded shooter space, they're going to have to be a lot quicker and more consistent with updates. Time will tell if Season 2 starts something brilliant or just another flash in pan. We'll see. Right, let's tackle DrawnNet's next question. Why no updates for the last 2 days? Mate, where do I begin? First off, let me say I'm genuinely humbled by all well-wishers. If you saw yesterday's video, I did mention I've not been feeling too great. And no, it's not cause I've been eating too much meat, as some smooth-brained plebeian community post tried suggesting. I mean, come on, blaming meat? Really? You think these vegans were on a crusade against good old-fashioned cholesterol? Truth is, I've got some ongoing health issues. Not dramatic, but enough to make me need to take a break every now and then. I'll spare you a sob story, but let's just say, when your body decides it's going to give you a hard time, you either fight back or take a day off. In my case, I choose the latter. Besides, I was born into a family blessed with a lovely buffet of hereditary problems. So yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in McGee household. But don't worry, life goes on. I'm not about to roll over and whinge like some of these gamers do every time servers go down for 10 minutes. Just means I might need to take a step back once in a while and recharge. You know, to stop myself from turning into a grumpy old bastard. Which, let's face it, I'm already halfway there. Now, for those of you who are sitting there wondering why no content, Scotty, trust me, I'm getting back on horse. I've got some great stuff lined up, including those first impressions of Season 2 I promised you all. But hey, sometimes life throws spanners in works, and you just gotta roll with it. I mean, would you rather have me half dead or fully charged and ready to rant? Thought so. So yeah, that's long and short of it. Bit of rest, bit of recuperation, and a whole lot of grumpiness. But don't worry, content train is back on track. I just needed a little pit stop. And remember, next time someone tries to blame your health on me, just give them a pat on the back and tell them to fuck off. Alright, you magnificent lot. On to DrawnNet's next question. When are you gonna do some builds for guns? Now look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm no meta chasing laser focused tryhard. You know, kind of player who spends more time watching the stats than actually shooting out. That's not me. I'm a guy who picks up guns, sees if it feels right and rolls with it. But since you asked nicely, I might just do a little something for you on gun builds. Now don't expect me to churn out some super optimised clickbaity best OP loadout for max damage nonsense. I'm not that guy. There's plenty of YouTubers out there for that kind of thing if you're looking for some sweaty min-max setup. However, I can show you what works for me. Scotty McGee's personal stamper approval loadouts. But it's kicker. You might hate them. I know, shocking, right? See, I believe in one simple thing. Your loadout should match your playstyle, not some random streamer's idea of what's best. What works for me, a more tactical, objective-focused player, might be utter garbage for someone who's all about racking up kills and ignoring actual win. For instance, my P90 loadout, absolute class for me, but I've had mates try it and go, Scotty, this is awful, mate. And all I can say is, well, maybe you just don't know how to use it. So if I do a gun builds, and I say if, because I'm not fully committing here, it'll be more of a this is what I use, take it or leave it situation. You ain't get those shiny charts with damage per bullet ratios or how many milliseconds faster you can ADS. It'll just be me telling you why I love certain loadout and how it fits into my grumpy objective focused playstyle. But I'll be honest with you, I don't have a massive range of builds. I stick to what works and ride with it till wheels fall off. So if I do end up sharing them, don't expect a 40-minute breakdown of every attachment under the sun. You'll get Scotty McGee special, straight to the point, a little sarcasm and probably a rant about why most of these guns don't need half attachments to come with. Right, let's move on to DrawnNet's next question. Do you think Netcode is better or worse? And mate, I get where you're coming from. Some games run like a dream. Everything's smooth as butter. Bullets hit where they're meant to hit. You're dominating, feeling like a god. Then boom, next game, you're shooting marshmallows and couldn't hit broadside of a barn if your life depended on it. Now here's my take on it. Netcode's always going to be a bit of a mixed bag. But for me, it's actually been better lately. Yeah, I can already hear pitchforks coming out in comments. What you on about, Scotty? It's broken. But look, it's always going to come down to a couple of things. Your system, your connection, and frankly, where the hell in the world you are. Here's hot tech for you. If you're playing on Wi-Fi more than about hit registration, you've got no one to blame but yourself. I don't care if it's Wi-Fi 6 or 7 or bloody space Wi-Fi. It's still not as stable as a wired connection. And if you're on Wi-Fi and lagging, my advice is simple. Get off Wi-Fi and hardwire that rig of yours. Otherwise, you're just going to keep playing lag lottery. Now, as for Netcode, is it perfect? No, it never will be. There's so many variables to go into it. Servers, connections, hardware. It's a miracle we even get a decent hit reg at all sometimes. But it's a lot better than it was at launch. And hey, I get it. Some people are still struggling. But if you ask me, ongoing work devs are doing, it's making a difference. Slowly but surely. Which brings me to this little gem I saw on Reddit from user Break0707. Poor bloke sitting there waiting 45 minutes for a game to capture the flag and thinks game's dead. Mate, it's not dead. It's just not thriving in one mod at that exact time. What do you expect trying to queue for CTF at some random hour like it's still golden era at mod? Player base is spread across multiple mods. So if you limit your search to just one niche mod like CTF, of course you're going to be sitting there like a lemon. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Widen your search parameters and you'll get into a game faster than you can send matchmaking. Last night, I was waiting 5 seconds. Yeah, 5 seconds and boom, match started. And that was with multiple mods selected. It's not rocket science, mate. Stop being stubborn, open your options and you'll be shooting people in no time. So to wrap this up, Netcode's better, don't play on Wi-Fi, and for love of all things holy, search more than one mod if you don't want to grow a beard waiting for a game. Alright, you magnificent legends. If you made it this far, I reckon you've either got thick skin or twisted sense of humour like me, and I respect that. Now before you leg it, you know what drill. Smash that like button, hit subscribe and drop a comment below with your thoughts and gaming stories. Or even your wildest conspiracy theories about Netcode. Who knows, I might just feature it on next day's Scotty video and tear it apart. Nicely, of course. But seriously, keep those questions coming, whether it's about XDefiant or other games or you've got a random topic you've been rattling around your brain. We'll keep having these chats cause, let's face it, there's plenty to rant about in the gaming world these days. Thanks for tuning in, you absolute legends. I'll see you next time, you magnificent